This is the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. At the time, I was just 10 years old. Back then, my family and I were living in a small apartment, and I slept with my parents since we only had one room. The room was situated at the end of the living room. Our bed faced the door, and we had a habit of sleeping with the bedroom door open. I was used to waking up late at night. I had no idea why, but it seemed I always had to wake up in the middle of the night for no reason, and I had no problem going back to sleep afterward. One night, I woke up as usual for no reason, but this time, it was different. The whole room was lit by a faint shade of blue. The blue tint seemed to be coming from outside the room, as the corridor outside was illuminated by a bright but eerie blue light. Feeling creeped out, I tried to wake up my parents, but to my horror, I couldn't touch them. My fingers just phased through them. My parents lay very still. Their chests weren't rising or falling, which meant they weren't breathing. The whole world seemed to become still, as if time itself had stopped. Just as I was trying to figure out what was going on, I heard very, very slow footsteps coming from the living room. But they were loud. It sounded like something extremely heavy was stepping slowly across the floor, causing it to creak with each step. The footsteps were heading toward the room. After a few seconds, a tall, hulking figure appeared at the doorway. It was hunched over, but still so tall that it nearly reached the ceiling. Its arms were so long that they dragged along the floor. Because it was standing with its back to the light, I could only see its silhouette. I couldn't see its face, but I could tell it was looking directly at me. Despite its massive and terrifying frame, I felt something strange. This being didn't mean me harm. It gave off a sense of calm, almost like a gentle presence. I don't know how I could feel that way, or why I was so sure, but in the middle of all the fear and confusion, I knew it wasn't hostile, and yet I was petrified, frozen in place, unable to move or look away. Then, for what felt like hours or maybe just minutes, the being suddenly vanished into thin air. The sickly blue light disappeared. The atmosphere became normal again. I look at my parents, and sure enough, I saw their chests moving up and down again. They were breathing. I touched my father's face to be sure I wasn't dreaming. He immediately woke up and gave me a stern glare, telling me to go back to sleep. This experience felt too real to be a dream. I'm certain I encountered an otherworldly being that night. Why did it visit us? Did it have the power to stop time? And why were my hands able to pass through my parents? Was my own spirit summoned out of my body? I have no idea. I'm an outgoing person. At least that's what it seems like on the surface. But in reality, I cherish my alone time. One of my favorite things to do is go on night jogs with my earbuds in. The rhythmic pounding of my feet against the pavement and the music in my ears have always helped me clear my mind and calm my thoughts. For a long time, this has been my daily ritual after work. One night, I decided to jog my usual route, but something caught my eye. There was a small path in the neighborhood leading up a small hill behind the area. I had never noticed it before, and curiosity got the better of me. I decided to jog onto the path, still listening to my music. The path was well lit, with streetlights lining both sides, casting soft pools of light on the red brick road. On either side, small trees were growing, adding a touch of greenery to the otherwise urban landscape. Ah, finally some greenery, I thought to myself. This is such a great jogging spot. Not only is it uphill, which will enhance my cardio, but it's also a safe path away from traffic. As I jogged along, I spotted a tall stone standing off the path. It was about 1.5 meters tall, overgrown with plants, and placed just a few meters away from the road. I passed by it without giving it much thought. But after about 5 minutes, something strange happened. The same stone appeared in front of me again. I stopped and took a closer look. The way the leaves were growing on it was exactly the same as the first stone I had passed. A wave of unease washed over me. The road, it seemed to be looping. Had I just passed this stone, I thought? It felt like deja vu, but something wasn't right. I remembered the stories I had read and the horror movies I'd seen about people getting trapped in a never-ending loop with no way out. Panic started creeping in, and I decided to turn back. I began running, trying to get back to the busy road. But after 10 minutes of running, the same road seemed to repeat itself. The path was unchanged. Exhausted, I stopped and sat down on the ground for a brief rest, trying to calm myself. It's okay, I told myself. I'm just scaring myself. I'll find my way out. But when I stood up, I saw a man walking towards me from a distance. I felt a rush of relief. Finally, someone. I waved my hand and started running towards him, eager to ask for help. But as I got closer, my heart sank into my stomach. The man's appearance was wrong. He was dressed in the old Chinese clothing, like something out of an ancient film. His face was the most disturbing part. He had none. It was flat, blurry, with no eyes, mouth, or nose. It was like looking at a featureless mask. Before I could react, the man raised his arm and pointed directly at me. My mind raced. Should I run back down the path or face the faceless man? I stood frozen, unsure. Then, to my horror, the man lowered his arm and started walking toward me. And then, with unsettling speed, he broke into a sprint. I turned and ran as fast as I could, my legs burning from the effort. I can't let him catch me, I thought, pushing myself harder. But there was no escaping. The path ahead seemed endless, stretching deeper into the hill. I had no choice but to keep running, deeper into the path. Just as I felt my body was about to give out, I saw something ahead, the neighborhood. Somehow I had made it back. I didn't even know how. I dared to look behind me, expecting to see the faceless man chasing me. But when I turned around, there was nothing. The path was empty and the man was gone. The next day I tried to find the path again, to prove to myself that what happened was real. But when I searched the entire neighborhood, I couldn't find it. The place where the path should have been was just a plain wall. I told my parents about the strange experience, and after hearing my story, they seemed thoughtful. They said I might have stumbled upon a path that didn't belong to this world. As for the faceless man, they believed that, while terrifying, he meant no harm. He was simply trying to guide me out of the loop, chasing me only to get me moving in the right direction. If you ever come across a path you've never seen before, no matter how inviting it may seem, don't go in. You might not like what you find.